opportunity to hear from those of you in our community, advocacy members, faith leaders, anyone who would like to come up and briefly, in sort of a 3-minute format, offer some words of support and context for what we're doing. Mary Jo, would you like to start?
Sure. Did I take your place, Kristen? Were you guys Good morning, everyone. This is very exciting, and it's very exciting to see a lot of people in the room that I know. And I've enjoyed this process. I think right here in this room we did a session with people in the church to answer questions. Who are the immigrants? Why did they come? And as a matter of fact, last Saturday the church hosted a farm worker social where we brought farm workers from neighboring communities here to share some food and music and games. So I'm very appreciative to all of you for being here. One of the things, and I appreciate this opportunity, Andy, to talk a little bit about why does it matter. So we know on the national scene why sanctuary is so important, but what does it mean to us here? And I think one of the critical factors for us is New York depends heavily on agriculture. Our farm workers in the area throughout the state are primarily undocumented immigrant workers from Mexico and Guatemala. And that influences their reality every day, just to leave the house, to go to their child's parent-teacher conference, to go to the grocery store, puts them at risk. And a lot of times it's hard for people to make the connection that when they're buying their milk in the grocery store, that actually implies real risk for the people who are milking the cows, the people who are shoveling the manure, and this very physically demanding work is very reliant on immigrants. And as a result of that, we are constantly aware of how that work, the person whose hands is going into the work, suddenly becomes that their hands are in handcuffs. And so the fact of declaring a sanctuary, I think, has political significance, but it also has real significance. And I know we've had this conversation with different religious groups around the community. If we were to create a physical sanctuary, would there be a need? And yes, there would, absolutely. I was very moved, and I'll just be quick with this because I don't want to take a lot of time, but I was very moved as we were meeting with a young man who works on a dairy farm not too far from here, who is terrified. He is awaiting deportation, and as we were talking, he lifted his shirt and showed me the wounds from the knife that he had been threatened with. And one would say, if someone is threatened so heavily, why couldn't they apply for amnesty? And if our system were simple, perhaps they could. But in his case, those were wounds that that were the result of an interaction with a gang, and that doesn't fit the legal qualifications for amnesty. Gang violence doesn't fit the legal qualifications. So what we've been doing is working through this process, and as Michael shared the story of this family, they had to work through the process to find the way. And having that safe space allowed them to work through the process to find the way. And so I see this as a significant way to support people as we work through the process. And I'm so happy that it has come together around this. And I look forward to, again, I'm happy to do education with congregations, with faith groups, about who the migrants are and why they're here, and what are the challenges they face, and what are their successes. So I'll put that out there. And if people want to volunteer, I have some of my volunteers here in the front row. We have a program where we link community volunteers, we do a training, and then they're actually supporting farm workers by teaching them English on their day off. So if you're interested in that, my email is easy. It's farmworkers@cornell.edu, and we'll send you a volunteer application. So thank you. I'm very pleased that this has come to fruition. It's been a process, And I think because it's been a deliberative process where people have had the chance to ask their questions over and over again, it's helped people to really internalize what this reality is. So thank you so much.